ourselves over here. Hey, live from Linden. I'm going to fix that.
We always just have a few technical difficulties. Thanks for joining us. We are so excited for today's Facebook Live. It's a cooking demo, but it's a little bit different because we are showing you how to make an Alfredo sauce that is dairy-free. And we're going to talk about maybe some of the reasons why you'd want to do dairy-free.
Yeah, I love this because when you think of any cheesy noodles, you always think if you are lactose intolerant or your kids are allergic to dairy, that it's out of the question. And so we're just going to do the same process that we make a white sauce out of, and we're just going to replace it with some dairy-free alternatives.
Yeah. So, yay! We'll just jump right in.
Yes. So, and I just want to say, first of all, that this is a recipe that is sort of on our blog. It's called the lightened up spinach artichoke fettuccine. But because we've made a few changes, I put the recipe in the description of the Facebook description. Yeah. So the whole recipe's there.
So if you're on Instagram, bop over to Facebook.
Bop over.
And if you can't bop over to Facebook,
then go to superhealthykids.com and find the lightened up chicken Alfredo, and we'll show you some of the things we've replaced it with. So,
okay, so starting off, we have our artichoke hearts. If you've never cooked with them, they come in a jar, usually in a little bit of oil. So, let's get our pan. No, saute pan.
Okay, so we're sauteing artichokes. We're going to add some mushrooms. Mushrooms are a great food to include for your kids because they are a great source of vitamin D. It's one of the very few foods that contain vitamin D, because normally, as you know, you get vitamin D from the sun, but there's a few foods that contain it, and mushrooms are one, and it's probably the only one that I'll eat because the other is like sardines and any things with bones in it. So, but vitamin D is great because it helps those kids build those strong bones, and these first 12 years are definitely the formative years. So if you don't really help them build those strong bones, then they're it's hard to catch up at that point.
So if you watch my Instagram stories, I talked about yesterday, if your kids don't like a certain food, like mushrooms or artichoke hearts, what I like to do, and I'm not doing this today, is I chop it super, super fine. Like, I even have a food chopper, and I'll just... there's a recipe I make a lot, and it's lettuce wraps, and it has mushrooms and red bell pepper. And my picky eater, I chop it so fine, it just mixes right in with that ground turkey. And she loves it. It's like one of her favorite recipes.
Nice.
So they're still getting like the flavors of those vegetables and the nutrients, but the texture is just a little more appealing when you chop it small.
Definitely.
So I'm not going to add any oil.
Because our jar had some oil.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So let's just slide these artichokes in. And we're going to saute this with some garlic. And we're going to use minced garlic.
So that it's not sizzling on the microphone.
Yeah. Hello.
Can I just say I love artichokes? I always have. I grew up in Northern California, and we grew artichokes in my backyard. And when, we would just boil it, and we would just scrape the meat off with our teeth. But one time I pulled an artichoke leaf off and there was an earwig on the inside. I liked him so much I kept eating it. I mean, I didn't eat the earwig.
You just didn't care.
I didn't care, and I was like 6, but I've never forgotten it.
I'm surprised that didn't traumatize you.
I know, it was just one of those things. It's like I watched it grow. I knew there were bugs on it, and I don't know.
Well, bugs are just a part of gardening.
They really are. Yeah, they really are. So now she's adding some chicken. So you can start with raw chicken and cook that first. This one is just some rotisserie chicken. I have found that buying rotisserie chicken already off the bone at Costco has saved so many dinners over the last few weeks than I can even count, because it's already cooked and you just mix it in with whatever you're making. It's perfect.
Yes. So Debbie is making this for dinner.
Debbie, you're gonna love it, even if you make the full dairy version. So, there you go.
This is already looking really yummy.
It already looks yummy.
Chicken, artichoke hearts, mushrooms.
I don't even need noodles. I can just eat this.
Me
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Okay,
So while that's sauteing, in a saucepan, and I'm gonna move some things around. Our space is not huge.
we have limited space. If you're in the market for building kitchens, we'll take one. Because we would love to have a studio.
Yeah, we are going to make a studio kitchen at some point. What am I doing? Oil.
Okay, so let's talk about being dairy-free.
Yes.
And let's talk about how we make a roux, because we just found out today some people do not do it the same as we do.
Yeah, so Amy and I, when we make Alfredo or a white sauce, which we both make, we found out today,
The same.
kind of frequently.
Yeah, frequently. I'll always make a white sauce just to either add to noodles. Last night, I totally made this up last night, and the family loved it, but it was ground beef, mushrooms, a white sauce, and peppers and onions. And it was all just mixed in. My son put it in a tortilla like a burrito. My husband put it on lettuce like it was a taco salad type thing. And I just ate the meat and veggies. And it had a white sauce on it. It was really good. Like, I'm not going to lie. But I usually like anything with white sauce because it tastes cheesy. Now, the thing is, and Natalie and I were talking about this today, is when I make a white sauce, I almost never add cheese to it. My cheese is always for garnishing and at the end. Some people will make a white sauce and incorporate the cheese into the sauce, which is great, but I just think that's just a lot of cheese that maybe loses its flavor just by nature of the whole sauce. Okay, just a suggestion. She needs more crock pot
Recipes.
Is that
Randall.
Okay. It would be fun to do crock pot. We have a Facebook Live. You can look at our old Facebook Lives, and we have a freezer to crock pot one that's really good. There's like 8 recipes in it, and we put together the freezer packs here. So that's an option
Okay,
too.
so we've added 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Some recipes call for butter, but since we're doing dairy-free, you can definitely use oil.
I was gonna say that. Most of my white sauces have butter, but we're trying to keep this dairy-free.
Okay,
And
you
so
want to whisk?
really,
Don't
I know,
you whisk
yeah,
yours?
but I just don't like the metal on metal. I'll do it.
Really?
I love a
Can you do
wooden
it?
spoon, but okay.
Well, you gotta make it. Here's the key with a roux. You've got that by 2?
Yeah.
Really? Do you want me to do it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So, you've gotta whisk it so there's no lumps, because you do not want a lumpy Alfredo. That's for sure. So she's gingerly whisking this. Oh my gosh, get in there, girl. It is going to be
So any fat will do, but olive oil is a good choice because the flavor works with mushrooms and chicken and all that kind of stuff.
okay. 5.5 cups.
Okay, so we're making a smaller version.
Well, that's
remember?
3 tablespoons.
So the thing is, I don't actually measure the milk. I just do it until it's a good amount of sauce I need, and it's as thin as I need.
Yeah.
So there is a measurement in the recipe on the description on Facebook, but if you're not going to measure, we're just going to go slowly. And I wonder if I could show you.
You can see it on Facebook. Can you see? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So see how it's bubbly?
And thick.
This is exactly when you want to start slowly adding your milk and whisk it in. You can do it, Amy. Okay, we're whisking.
Okay, so let me tell you about this milk. This is, I wrote a post about it on Tuesday.
Here, I'll whisk.
Because, okay,
This is getting lumpy.
this is called pea milk. And step in a little so you're on Instagram always.
I'm sorry.
This is called pea milk. It's a dairy-free alternative that doesn't taste bad. So that's what I wanted to emphasize. They have this special process, but it's like extruding peas, dried peas in a way that makes it a smooth dairy-free drink.
And it is delicious. Like if you like almond milk, which I do, you will love this. It's called Ripple.
Ripplefoods.com.
And it's really, really yummy. This is their half and half that we're using today in our Alfredo.
And this is their new kids line. So this is a portable chocolate that you can like send to school or send to soccer practice. They also have vanilla. They have original. And so we have our post on Tuesday is sponsored by Ripple Foods, and we've got 2 more coming up. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do.
We wanted to show you guys some ways you can use these dairy-free, this dairy-free milk, and I want to tell you guys the nutrient profile of this milk is awesome. It has so much more protein than like an almond milk or soy.
And there's more protein and there's less sugar.
Way less sugar.
Okay, show them your sauce.
Okay guys, look how creamy this is looking. Can you see it?
And somebody was asking on Instagram about Canada, and I did just ask, and they said they had to pull their Canada products to fix the labels, but they'll be back on the shelf in a week or so.
Okay, so you can cook this sauce down as much as you want. The longer you cook it, the thicker it'll get. Just make sure you're constantly stirring. Otherwise, it's going to get really lumpy.
Okay, that is looking really good. Yeah. This looks like a regular white sauce that I make with milk.
So I'm going to add some salt and pepper to it, because I'm actually for reals going to eat this for lunch.
Yeah, Natalie's going to have this for lunch. I just ate eggs. So I'll probably try it, though.
Oh, yeah, you should totally try it. So just salt and pepper to taste. Amy's freaking out about how much pepper.
I don't love pepper.
I love...
Stepping out of
Oh,
Instagram.
guys, I'm so sorry, Instagram. I love pepper. I just love... Amy doesn't like... She likes more bland foods.
I think pepper is spicy. And I don't like spicy foods. Hello from Greenland. Thank you. I can't read your name because my eyes are so bad. And hi from Kenya. I love that you guys are all over the place. This is so fun.
I know. It's so cool.
Okay, when do you add the spinach?
Now. Right now. So we're just going to add this all together. I'm just making space. So we pre-cooked our noodles. So these are just our whole wheat fettuccine noodles. We need like a bigger bowl to mix this all together.
I don't think we have a bigger bowl.
Do we not? No kind of bigger bowl?
You didn't make it on a plate. We need some dishes for our little pretend kitchen. This is actually our break room, if you will. But, okay, so we've got some whole wheat noodles. You could make this gluten-free if you had to by using zoodles, which, as you know, we love to do.
So should we put the sauce and then, well, the spinach?
I like mixing the sauce with the meat, just because that's this is just a lot of sauce or noodles for how much sauce we made.
Yeah, you just touch in,
Here,
or you toss in the spinach at the end.
Toss it in at the end. Sure.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so do you have any questions so far? We have made a white sauce by combining our fat, which was olive oil, flour, equal amounts. Fat and flour is usually equal amounts.
Put some spinach in this.
And then dairy, a dairy-free half and half, which is ripplefoods.com. The other thing, so she said there was a good amount of protein, and that's a good reason to send these to school, but also on the kids line, it's
shelf stable.
more calcium than milk.
Oh, yeah.
Calcium, good source of calcium. So also important for bones. So when you have the mushrooms, you have the vitamin D from the mushrooms, and you have the protein and the calcium from your milk substitute. That's a good bone strengthening thing. And your spinach, we've got iron in our spinach. This is a really good, powerful lunch. And chicken. Oh my You know what else is nice about that?
We should try it for everybody.
You know what else? That was like 14 minutes. Yeah, we pre-cooked the noodles, and we did have cooked chicken, but that was still fast.
But I love cooking with
Thank you.
pre-cooked chicken.
I love cooking with pre-cooked chicken.
Because it's so much faster. Like, I'm a big canner, meaning like home canned stuff. This is difficult to eat.
I brought one more thing for you. In case Natalie... Oh my gosh. So good. In case you can eat dairy, we can talk about why you go dairy free. But in case you can eat dairy, I did bring some Parmesan for the top. You don't have to have it. That's cheesy enough, right? So you'll never put cheese in your white sauce again.
No.
There's no need. It's just a garnish.
It's true, right?
Yeah. And it saves money because cheese is expensive.
That's really good.
That's so
It's
good.
super thick. I probably cooked it a little too long.
Or maybe you could have added more half and
you
half.
can always
But I
thin it out.
love it. Okay, talk about going dairy
Okay,
free.
so I want to tell you guys.
While I eat her lunch.
There's a lot of you. Okay, Kate from Facebook just said, "Isn't there sugar in that ripple? Will it throw off the savory flavor of your dish?"
We're
This is
using
original.
half and half original, so no. They
have a vanilla half and half.
Oh, you know what there is? No, I lie. Organic cane sugar. It's less than 1%
Because
though.
there's 0 grams.
It doesn't taste, there's 0 grams of sugar on the label. Inside it says less than 1% organic cane sugar, but you can't taste any sweetness in here. I'm not sure why they need it, but you can't taste it. So don't worry about that.
No. Okay, so dairy-free. A lot of our readers are dairy-free for different reasons, but we do have a lot of readers who are dairy-free. Are any of you dairy-free out there? And if so, is it an allergy? Is it a choice? Do you practice vegan eating? So for me personally, this is kind of interesting. All of my siblings are actually lactose intolerant. And I always thought I was maybe superior, like I got the better genes. And turns out, as I'm getting older, I think I'm becoming lactose intolerant. So I probably shouldn't have teased them. Anyway, so I do dairy-free milk a lot at my house, and I've up until this point normally been doing just almond milk. But I'm really excited to find this alternative just because I like the nutrition in it better. I like that there's more protein.
The almond milk is 1 or 0 grams of protein.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize that.
It surprised me. I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
And normal milk has about 8 grams of protein So
for me, I do love dairy. I eat a lot of yogurt. But I don't drink milk. It's never been my thing. But I do drink chocolate milk. So I would drink this, but I wouldn't I wouldn't even drink a plain glass of milk. But I also actually include dairy things in smoothies. So I could put this in a smoothie too. And, even though I do like milk and dairy, I do try to limit it. I don't need to be excessive in anything, so it's nice to have alternatives.
And that's another reason I love this, because I put milk in my kids' smoothies in the morning, mostly for the calcium and the protein. I have a daughter, she doesn't like dairy. She actually just doesn't like it. She doesn't like yogurt or cheese. And so in my smoothies, when I add this, then she's getting that calcium and protein.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, I wish you could taste this, but because we left the recipe, you can make it tonight for your family. Super simple. We used some whole wheat noodles. We used a dairy-free roux and some mushrooms, artichoke hearts, spinach, and chicken.
Yeah.
The perfect meal. It's so balanced.
And you could add, instead of spinach, you could do zucchini or yellow squash.
Yeah.
There's
I would
lots
do zucchini
of
for sure.
vegetables you can switch out. So it's a really fast, easy weeknight dinner, dairy-free.
Okay, if you have any questions, leave them below. We'll check back later today to answer any that you might have. Check out ripplefoods.com. Check out my post from Tuesday about dairy-free alternatives. And we will be back next Thursday.
Thanks,
See ya!